What up, bitches? It's the misanthropic one, aka He Who Hungers, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant/review. Today, I want to talk about this album right here, Atmosphere's latest album called Southsiders. Alright, I've talked about Atmosphere on my channel before. If you don't know their history, go check my older review of their album The Family Sign and get the history there. Just gonna jump right into this shit. It's late. I wanted to jump on this one. I know a lot of y'all wanted to get this review. First off, I found this at Best Buy, and as you can see, the case is kind of unique. It's sort of like a slipcase type of thing inside plastic, and then it came in another piece of plastic, and this was a bitch to get out of this. I was like fighting with it to get this, which is encased in plastic, out of this piece of plastic. So that's number one. The plastic itself here is pretty cool because you have the title printed on this. So, you know, if you want to keep this all intact, you got to keep the plastic like that. Artwork is pretty cool. You have a fold out of, I guess, different spots in Minnesota where the group is from. So that's pretty cool there. And you have the liner notes, which is one book, and this is the actual CD case right there. So depending on how you feel, you could switch shit out and have it at the front of the thing and change your picture or whatever the fuck, whatever you feel like fucking looking at. Slug is the MC. He does the raps on here. No features on this shit. I like that. Ant is the producer. Alright, so let's get into the pros and cons of this album. This one's gonna be a quick one. Pros. Slug, the MC. I've talked about him before on my channel. He's definitely an underground legend. One of the most introspective rappers ever. And there's only three that I consider that are like super introspective, which are Slug, Sage Francis, and Joe Budden, that can rip apart human emotions and rip apart the human psyche and spit it in such a way that you're like, holy shit, I really feel like this. And Slug is one of them dudes. So shout out to Slug for that. Lyrically, he's dope on this shit. Very poetic. Songs are very content driven. Like Bitter's a dope track. I can relate to that not only because I'm a bitter, angry fuck, but I went through something in the last couple months that showed me how bitter certain people could be. So I definitely relate to that. What else? My Lady Got Two Men. Dope track, how he's talking about his dichotomy and how his lover or his wife or whoever he's with, significant other, has to deal with these two people that complete him. Flicker, that track, I believe he's talking about the deceased MC Idea. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's talking about him because they were close. Idea was on Rhyme Sayers, passed away a couple years ago. And there's a lot of dope tracks on here. Kanye West, the single, I'll post a link for that video. Dope video, love the imagery and that shit. So lyrically and content wise, Slug killed it. He never disappoints when it comes to jumping on the mic. He's one of them dudes that once I see his name, I know he's gonna come with some dope ass shit. Alright? Cons. Production. Just like the family sign, I said production was the thing that weighed down the album the most for me. And it's the same thing on this one. Although the production was a little bit better to me on this album than the family sign, it still wasn't the ant that I came to know and love. If you listen and go back to older Atmosphere records, Headshot 7, Overcast, God Loves Ugly, Lucy Ford EPs, I mean, you would have a nice mix of shit on with these beats, you know. So it wasn't just, you know, Slug's lyricism that was carrying everything. It was a great marriage of lyrics and beats. And I felt that after 2005, which was their album, You Can't Imagine How Much Fun We're Having, I think I mentioned this in the family sign, that was the last Atmosphere album that I could say I really enjoyed front to fucking back. And after that, to me, it was a slow decline. And it was mainly because of production. Sorry, and I gotta say it. I mean, some of the beats were decent on here and it was consistent, but what I loved about the old Atmosphere albums, it was a blend of shit. You had a lot of upbeat, hard-hitting drums, upbeat tracks, shit you could just nod your head to, you know. You had your b-boy shit, you had your just hard shit that some people would even dare to say was a hardcore beat. And a lot of this shit is just sort of like, it just seems sort of lackadaisical. And that really killed it for me. But I don't know what to say. That was the biggest problem I had with this album, was the production yet again. Much like the family sign, I'm sorry to say it, I know Atmosphere, they got a shitload of fans on the underground. They got a shitload of fans, me being one of them. In fact, today I was just listening to God Loves Ugly. That is a fucking perfect example of what I'm talking about. For those that don't know what album that is, you need to go check that out. Even Seven's Travels, shit. Just check out their catalog from the Headshots tapes, which are very hard to get now, the little cassette tapes. They need to re-release those shits. But Headshot 7's was a full Atmosphere album. Check out shit from there all the way up to up till now. Hell, you might like this shit. All right, my rating of this shit, I'm gonna give it a 4 to maybe 5 out of 10. Like I said, Slug came lyrically correct on this shit. Content driven once again, but production weighed it down, much like it did on the family sign. But like I said, it was a little bit better than family sign. And another thing before I go, I'm sick and tired of some of you niggas leaving this shit on the internet, and I'm sick and tired of hearing this coming out of people's mouths. People say, well, you know, they are in their 40s and Slug has 3 kids, and you know, they can't really produce that type of hip-hop anymore because they're in their 40s. Listen, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, because there are MCs that are into their 40s and still are consistent with the hip-hop, at least produce some of the shit that's within the same vein of what they've been producing their whole careers. So don't give me that bullshit. Don't leave any comments saying that shit. That's fucking stupid. I understand, yeah, he's a father. Maybe he can't rap about the same shit, but he could, you know, at least have some of those beats that are reminiscent, so he could somehow channel some of those quote unquote angry songs he used to write. But I don't know, whatever, that's just me. That's it. Everybody else, y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate, Most of all, subscribe, support dope shit, and that's it. Peace, bitches.